now. All right, Natalie's in the house.
Write something down.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi
Sorry,
there.
trying to make it work. Hello. So I was married for 20 years and I lost my husband. And
Oh,
I am wondering, I'm dating someone now who I'm really enthralled with. And I'm wondering, is it possible? Do you believe that there is more than one? Oh, what is the word? Now I can't think. I'm not.
soulmate.
Yes. Do you believe that there's more than one soulmate in a person's
Oh,
life?
I think we have hundreds, if not thousands, of soulmates.
And how do you narrow that? How would you, I know what I thought of my husband, but that was, it's different with every person. So how do you figure that out?
Well, first off, you have to put that relationship, and I'm using your marriage. I'm using the word relationship in the context of your marriage, and you have to put that in a completely separate box. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's unfair to compare this person in any way to that person. And by the way, if it was the other way around and he had lost his spouse and I'm assuming the man that you're talking about is divorced.
He's not. He's never been married.
Never married. Okay. But I'm sure he's had at least one relationship in his life. And maybe that broke his heart. Maybe it didn't. But you wouldn't want him to be holding. And I'm not suggesting you're holding on to your marriage or your late husband, but to compare it is an unfair thing to do.
Right.
Now, your question is, can I love again? It's really the question, right? I mean, can I love this person? Now you're saying, or can this be the kind of love I had before? Is that, by the way, when you asked about soulmates, I'm assuming you meant because you felt very much in love with your husband. Is that right?
Right. Okay. And so is it possible to rebuild something like that? Not the same, obviously, but.
So first off, the question is absolutely yes. You can absolutely build love with someone new. Absolutely. It's going to be different. It's going to feel different. Does this person, highly, statistically speaking, no, statistically speaking. But then again, it's like rolling dice. Sometimes we get double sixes and sometimes we get them 2 times in a row, that can absolutely happen. But I think there's more to your question than just this. I think there's more you want to find out. So are you willing to open up to me, sharing a bit more?
I will do what I can, yes.
Okay, so what's your real question?
I feel different about this person I'm dating versus all the others that I've dated over the course of the last 2 years.
Okay, so when did your husband pass away?
2021.
Okay, so it's been, as of today, that's almost 4 years. And I'm assuming you didn't date for a little while, correct?
Yeah.
And then a couple years ago, you put yourself out in the dating marketplace. Did you how do you normally meet men?
It's always been online. One person I met locally, but everyone else, it was online.
Okay. Do you know how many roughly first dates you had till you met this person?
Lots. Okay. I don't know how many.
By the way, I had one woman in a 5-year period meet 80 different men, and that's not an uncommon number. Okay. So I'm assuming it's not that high, but I'm going to guess somewhere in excess of 20 men. Is that right?
I'd say that's closer to it, somewhere around 20.
Okay. Yeah. Of those 20 men, how many of them got a second? How many times did you go out on a second date?
Probably 5 or 6 times.
Okay, let's go with 6. And of those 6 men, how many got a third date?
3.
3. And of those 3, how many of them got a 5th date?
All 3.
Okay, and how long did each one of those relationships last?
Well, So this current one I'm in now
No,
has
no,
been
no, no, no,
7
no.
months.
I want to
Not
talk
this
about
one.
the three. Let's
Okay.
talk about those three first. I just need some context.
So
How
he was
long
in
did
those threes, in those three. So there's only 2 others. So
okay.
each one was about a year that
Okay,
we.
so you had 2 separate men that lasted a year.
Mhm.
Okay. And why did the relationships end?
One of them, the guy was super great, wonderful. He's great, but I wasn't feeling it enough. I wasn't falling in love. I wasn't liking him more or less for that matter. It was just kind of monotone. And he was a
Okay.
truck driver, which made it troublesome.
Okay. What about the second guy that
The,
lasted a year?
the second one, he had too much going on, too many women seemingly everywhere. And that I can't do any of
So
that.
you were with him for a year knowing he was with a lot of women?
No, he was just a big flirt.
Okay.
So I don't know how many women he was actually with, but I know he was a big flirt with
Okay.
a lot of
Okay.
people.
And which one of the 2 that you mentioned, the truck driver or the flirt, which one, which was the most recent ending?
The flirt.
And when did that end?
That was in May, I think, of last year.
May of 2024. And when did
Mhm.
you meet the new guy?
I met him the end of June.
Okay, so the body wasn't even cold and you're on to a new person.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. So you've been dating him since June. How's the relationship going?
Uh, I think really well. I'm very comfortable and very attracted to him, and we have a good time, and we're able to talk, and it's like, being in an adult relationship.
Okay. So do you have any fears about this relationship?
My fear is getting left. I know my husband didn't intentionally leave me, but he's gone, so he left.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's my fear.
Okay. Let's put that in a box for a second, really quickly, and I'm going to return to there in a second. How often do you see this gentleman that you're seeing right now? How often?
Every Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Right, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Okay.
4 days.
And why and how far apart do you 2 live?
We live a little ways away. It's about 45 minutes.
Okay, 45 minutes.
Mhm.
And I'm assuming that's why. And who goes to whom?
He will typically come to me.
Okay,
I've only been there a couple times.
okay. And why don't you go to his place more often?
Um, Stupid excuse. I have a dog and a cat, so I got to take care of them. Like, I don't like to drive at night. Like, stupid
Got it.
excuses that.
Got it. Okay. Hey, pets are, actually pets can be more work than children in some cases. So, okay, fair enough. How's the sex?
Great.
Okay. I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you. Say it out louder.
Super great.
All right, there we go. There we go. We like good sex in this channel.
Absolutely.
Okay. We like
It's
really
really
good
important.
sex in this channel. Okay. I want to address something. When we lose somebody, particularly when they transition, um, versus the ending of a relationship or a breakup or a divorce, especially when we deeply love a person, it can absolutely affect our nervous system. Okay. And it is a natural byproduct to feel a sense of fear around being left, as you use the term, or loss. Okay. And it doesn't have to be a romantic love. It could be a parent, it could be a dear friend. In my particular case, my son. If you've been watching me long
Yep.
enough, you know that I lost my son. And I would say that in the initial stages of dating after my son passed away, I was very gun shy wanting to get close to someone because I hadn't properly processed my grief. I haven't properly navigated all the different emotions from denial, anger, depression, bargaining, all of these feelings. So it's very natural to feel a sense of fear that somebody could abandon you. Okay. Most of the time we experience this in just, unfortunately, betrayal, ghosting, combative, toxic behavior. We experience something different oftentimes, or we experience out of the blue breakups, which can affect our nervous system. So all of what I'm trying to say is all these things affect our nervous system. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's natural to feel that way. Do you feel as though you're properly grieved your husband? And when I say properly, I don't think we ever goes away, but do you
Right.
feel like, you're not charged by it, or your late husband, excuse me, you're not charged by it anymore?
I feel like no, I'm not charged by it anymore. I have been in therapy ever since and continue to be, and so that has definitely helped and helped me to recognize my emotions and realize, everything. So I don't feel like I'm charged by that
Okay.
anymore.
Okay. So coming back to this gentleman, um, you know, it takes a good year to
Mhm.
really bond with a person. I mean, this is not an absolute timeline, but it takes a year or two to fully bond and build the deep roots of trust with someone, especially if it's built in a very healthy way through social activities, hobbies, mutual interest, spending time with family and friends. When all of that is when you're building the roots to trust, you're bonding with a person. Um, you know, have you guys had any arguments? How's the conflict resolution between the two of you? What about that?
We haven't been in an argument. It's
Okay.
just so calm and so peaceful. Kind of what you were talking about earlier, which is kind of why I was like, maybe I should call.
Yeah. Um, by the way, until you get through by the way, now I'm going to tell you something though. You got to get through these threshold barriers that sometimes you need a good fight to
Right.
get through it so you can move past it. Okay.
Right.
Um, and I'm not suggesting that you jump into a fight with them today, but
I was going to ask, should I instigate a fight?
yeah. I would say navigating our differences is one of the ways we build deeper love with a person, when we can navigate our differences. I've got some notes on that. Especially adjusting to different personalities, different habits. That's all part of the process of building love, is navigating the differences. But I'm going to tell you something else. When you can identify your needs, wants, and desires, and express it to the person and address those needs, wants, and desires, when you address your emotions and such, that's how you build the deeper roots of trust with a person.
Mhm. Mhm. And I feel like I am not overwhelmingly sharing everything all the time, but I feel like I have done that more so than he.
Well, so if you're more verbally expressive about the relationship, it's an invitation for him to also express as well. I mean,
Mhm.
so I think it's radically important that couples do check-ins and talk about the state of affairs of their relationship. I know one couple that does it once a month. They do a check-in every month. They call it the state of affairs, kind of thing. And they check in with each other. I believe that's a healthy way to build deeper, lasting, longer love, when you check in with each other's emotions and feelings. And if you get any flack on it, that's a person who doesn't care about your emotions and feelings. That's not a good sign.
Mhm.
All right, has this been enough help for you? Have we addressed this?
I think so. I think we're good. Yes.
Okay. Hold on a second. I'm just making a note. So, Natalie, thanks for joining us on the love seat. I tried to be as calm and kind as possible. I hope you got some value out of this conversation. I wish your relationship luck, and I hope you come back in a few months and let us know how it's going. Okay.
I sure will. Thank
All right.
you.
I'm going to give you a big, gigantic shot, the bear hug.
And to you too. Thank
All
you.
right. Thanks a bunch. Bye now.
Mhm.
All right, Natalie was brave enough to go on the love seat and share with us her question. First off, she was brave enough to share with us some of her past experiences, how that might have affected her in her current relationship. I think the question is, do we know when we're with our soulmates? Coming back to secure love, I think when you're in a secure, healthy relationship, it feels calm. It doesn't feel overly over the top, over the moon. It just feels calm. And when you feel calm, I think that's a great sign that you're with somebody that might have some long-term legs in this. Is this sinking in? Is this resonating with you? Please let me know if it is. I'd like to hear your thoughts on what I just shared. Post a comment below. I do my best to read them all in the first 24 hours. As always, if you find value in my videos, please hit that like button. Please share this video. Please subscribe to my channel and hit that notification bell so you can be notified of new videos. And if you want to connect with me directly, there's links below to schedule a discovery call with me to see if working with a coach is right for you. There's a link to join my group called Midlife Love Mastery. There's a link to get all the books I recommend. There's a link to get my dating vows, which you desperately need my dating vows. It's listed below. All right, I'm going to wrap up this video as I always do. First off, give myself a big, gigantic Jonathan Barrick of self-love. I'm going to reach into the camera and give you a hug of love if that's okay. I'm going to ask you to turn to someone, a pet, a teddy bear, a pillow, and give it or them a hug of love, because hugs are a great source of love. And let's face it, we could all use more love in our